In today's video, we are talking about buckwheat. This grain is gluten-free, which makes it a great alternative to wheat. It is also high in protein, fiber, minerals, and antioxidants. Let's talk about the many benefits of buckwheat. Stay tuned until the end because I will be sharing my favorite ways to use it in recipes. Before we get into the benefits, I want to clear up some confusion. Buckwheat is not actually a wheat. It is related to rhubarb and spinach. Even though it is called wheat, it does not contain gluten and can be part of a gluten-free diet. And this is great news for those who are looking to avoid gluten for health reasons. In fact, buckwheat flour has been used to make gluten-free bread, pasta, and other baked goods. Because it is gluten-free, it can help people with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity to enjoy a wider variety of foods. And those with gluten intolerance often report fewer digestive issues when consuming buckwheat than when consuming wheat. Buckwheat is a highly nutritious grain. It contains more than twice the protein per kilogram than lean beef and almost 3 times the iron. It is a complete protein source containing all 9 essential amino acids your body needs but cannot produce on its own. So whether you are a vegetarian or just looking to add more plant-based proteins to your diet, buckwheat can be a great option for you. If you have diabetes or simply want to maintain healthy blood sugar levels, buckwheat may be able to assist. Buckwheat has a low glycemic index, meaning that it will not raise your blood sugar levels as quickly as other grains such as white rice or bread. And unlike many other grains, buckwheat does not contain any sugar, making it an excellent choice for those with diabetes. A study found that eating buckwheat can lower fasting blood sugar levels by 14%. Another study involving 63 people with type 2 diabetes found that eating buckwheat 3 times per day was able to lower postprandial blood sugar levels by 21%, compared to eating the same amount of wheat. Both men and women experience similar results, showing that this grain can be beneficial for everyone regardless of gender. If you eat a small portion of buckwheat, 85 grams, cooked with vegetables, and fruit, and a moderate portion of lean meat, fish, or poultry, you can keep your carbohydrates below 45 grams per serving. Keeping your carbs under 45 grams per serving is a good way to help manage your blood sugar levels. And now let's talk about weight loss. Are you trying to lose weight? If so, buckwheat may be able to assist. Buckwheat is a filling grain thanks to its high fiber and protein content. Eating a filling food can be very beneficial for those trying to lose weight because it can help reduce overall calorie intake by keeping you feeling full for longer. One study found that buckwheat was able to increase satiety and decrease energy intake in overweight and obese women more effectively than wheat did. Another buckwheat benefit is its potential to reduce cholesterol. High levels of LDL, or bad cholesterol, in the bloodstream increases the risk of heart disease and stroke. Fortunately, buckwheat may be able to help reduce cholesterol levels. A study conducted on 63 individuals with type 2 diabetes discovered that replacing wheat with the same amount of buckwheat led to a 9% reduction in total cholesterol and an 11% reduction in LDL, or bad cholesterol. And if that isn't enough to convince you to start eating buckwheat, another study showed that consuming this grain can decrease inflammation in the body. Inflammation is linked to many chronic diseases, including heart disease, cancer, and arthritis. By reducing inflammation, buckwheat may help protect against these and other conditions. The researchers concluded that buckwheat has a beneficial effect on blood lipids, blood pressure, and oxidative stress, which are all risk factors for cardiovascular disease. As a result, they suggest that buckwheat could be used as part of a heart-healthy diet. Now, let's talk about how you can incorporate buckwheat into your diet. It is a very versatile grain that can be used in a variety of dishes. You can use buckwheat flour to make pancakes, crepes, and soba noodles. You can also use whole grain kernels to make porridge or as a side dish. If you are looking for a gluten-free alternative to pasta, try using buckwheat noodles. They have a nutty flavor and chewy texture that is similar to soba noodles. And if you like the taste of buckwheat, then you will most likely enjoy this recipe. I recommend trying buckwheat groats. Buckwheat groats are the whole grain kernel without the husk. They have a chewy texture and a nutty flavor that some people compare to a nutty brown rice. To prepare them, rinse 1 cup of groats in a fine mesh sieve under cold water. Add the groats to a saucepan with 2 cups of water or broth. Bring to a boil, then reduce heat to a simmer and cook for 15 to 20 minutes or until the groats are tender. You can season the finished dish with salt, pepper, and any other desired toppings. Another way you can use buckwheat is by making soba noodles. Soba noodles are made from buckwheat flour and are a popular Japanese noodle. They have a nutty flavor and chewy texture and are often served with cold water dipping sauces. Buckwheat soba noodles are gluten-free and high in protein and fiber, making them a healthy alternative to traditional wheat noodles. To make soba noodles, you will need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of buckwheat flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 cup of warm water. In a large bowl, combine the flours and salt. Gradually add the warm water while stirring until a dough begins to form. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface and knead for 5 to 7 minutes until smooth and elastic. Roll out the dough into a sheet about 1/8 inch thick and cut into noodles. Drop the noodles into boiling water and cook for 5 to 7 minutes or until al dente. Drain the noodles and serve hot. And now let's talk about one of my favorite ways to use buckwheat, and that is buckwheat pancakes. Buckwheat flour is a gluten-free alternative to wheat flour that is high in protein and fiber. It has a distinctive nutty flavor that lends itself well to sweet and savory dishes. To make buckwheat pancakes, you will need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/2 cup of buckwheat flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1-2 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of melted butter, and 1 cup of milk. In a large bowl, combine the flours, sugar, baking powder, and salt. Gradually whisk in the melted butter and milk until just combined. Do not overmix. Heat a lightly oiled griddle or frying pan over medium heat. Pour 1/4 cup of batter onto the hot griddle or frying pan for each pancake. Cook the pancakes for 2 to 3 minutes per side or until golden brown. Serve hot with your favorite toppings. And finally, let's talk about the best way to store buckwheat. Buckwheat can be stored in a cool, dry place for several months. To store it, place the buckwheat in an airtight container and keep it away from moisture. Whole grain kernels can be kept in the freezer for up to a year. If you notice any signs of spoilage, such as mold or change in texture, discard the buckwheat. Overall, buckwheat is a highly nutritious and versatile grain that can be enjoyed in a variety of dishes. Whether you are looking for a gluten-free alternative to wheat or simply want to add more protein and fiber to your diet, buckwheat is a great option. So why not give it a try? From pancakes to soba noodles and everything in between, there are plenty of delicious ways to enjoy this nutty flavored grain. So add it to your grocery list and get creative in the kitchen. Thanks for watching, and as always, I wish you great health, wealth, and happiness.